It says it's loading here.
Yeah, it says meeting is now streaming live.
I bet our audience is large.
I bet it is.
I have a hard time believing that Jesse had 75 people watching his, but maybe so.
Maybe, never know. You know, he's more popular than you are.
Oh, there's no doubt. Okay.
You want to let the attorneys in
Let's
first?
let the attorneys in.
Okay, here's Lauren and Mr. J.
Morning. How you doing, Mr. J?
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you doing?
Fine. Ms. Boynton?
Go ahead.
Ms. Boynton?
He's connecting.
Your Honor, I will tell you, this is the first one of these I have ever done.
It's a treat.
We are all in uncharted territory.
It is a treat. Well, Ms. Boynton and I did one just the other day.
I've been at my office since 6:30 this morning trying to play with all this stuff, just figure out what the hell's going on.
Can you see me?
I can see you now. I can see you and I can hear you.
Perfect.
Good morning to you, Ms. Boynton.
Good morning.
Okay, y'all got my email this morning
Yes.
with your 1,000 exhibits and 100 witnesses each. It's going to be hard to pare all that down, but we don't have much time.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk with you about, Judge. Do we just want to talk about visitation and conservatorship issues and not deal with child support and property issues this morning? Because we have a full temporary orders hearing set on July 8th.
I have no objections to that.
Well, I don't know what you mean by full temporary orders hearing, but here's let me tell you just some of the issues that I want y'all to consider.
Okay.
With mom, if mom has had 3 DWIs and she's still on probation or parole, whatever it is, where she still have to blow into the Smart Start thing, you know, I think it's going to be hard for me to give her primary custody of this child. And if dad is worse than she is, I mean, if you have something, Ms. Boynton, that makes you think that she should have over him, then y'all need to maybe consider your whole card a little bit, because this might be a case where CPS needs to get involved if he has worse issues than she does. And so I think this is a situation to me that if that's not the case, that there ought to be a consideration on you know, trying to get her visitation with the child and trying to get things set up where there can be some child support. And then I don't know, you know, as far as personal property or dividing up property on a temporary basis, that seems to me like it ought to be fairly easy. I don't know what they have to divide up as far as on a temporary basis. So that's kind of my thoughts about it, and I'm happy to hear from y'all or what y'all's thoughts are.
Ms. Boyson, I was surprised to see your request for leave for your client was asking for the marital residence back. Does she really want that? I thought she's on an apartment lease with Mike.
Well, that's going to change now. Our issue is that she left in order to get away from Aaron, but the home is where Kate stays. So that's been kind of an issue. We're trying to figure out how to resolve that.
Well, whoever has primary possession of the child should have the home on a temporary basis.
Okay. All right.
Mom hasn't been able to see the child barring 3 hours a week for the past 3 months. And she was with her every day prior to. So we have a lot of lost time to make up for. I don't know if we could come to some kind of agreement on that, figure out a solution. But mom does need to be with the child.
Well, here's what I would think I would order for mom is she needs to get that SoberLink device, and she needs to use that. And as far as I'm concerned, if somebody's using SoberLink and does it right, that resolves a lot of concerns on my part, and I would hope on dad's part, as far as any sobriety issues that she might have. Because if she's required to blow into that SoberLink device, say 4 times a day, you know, if she tests positive and he gets the results, you know, he can see the results. And if she's positive for alcohol, well, then come back into court.
She's never had a violation for alcohol. In the past, she's been on it since 2013.
Right.
So
Gone to prison twice because she violated her probation drinking, and she's gone to prison twice, once for 3 months and once for 7 months.
Right, but I'm saying just a moment, I'm saying with the sober link, instantaneously. I mean, the minute it happens almost. I think it's maybe, I think he can see the results as quickly as the lab can. I mean, I think it comes out. And so that solves so many problems in my mind once you get the sober link device.
Your Honor, I want to make clear, my client wants Ashlye to have a relationship with the child. He just needs to make sure she's safe. And again, he didn't force her out of the house. He just got a text from her saying, I'm leaving. I'm going to live with Mike. I'm having an affair. Mom could have gone and picked up the child from daycare and taken her with her. She chose not to because she was moving in with her new boyfriend in a new apartment.
Well, that's kind of
Aaron,
water under the bridge at this point. What I'd like to do is figure out how we're going to go forward with it. And it does seem to me like that, again, unless mom has something really serious on dad, that dad ought to have the primary possession. Mom should have a kind of pretty much a standard visitation schedule with the SoberLink device, particularly since she's living there close to his sister-in-law or next door with her or whatever the situation was. It just seemed to me like this is a fairly easy solution to this problem, at least on a temporary basis.
So a couple of issues that we have that we need to make sure if that's going to be the deal and you're going to order mom visitation, where is she going to have the visitation at? Is she going to have the visitation in the apartment where she's living with the boyfriend now? I mean, usually we order in these cases that nobody's going to have any adults with whom they're having an intimate relationship around the child. Where's she going to have?
No, the way we do that is at night, overnight. I would agree overnight, but unless the boyfriend has, if he has a sexual history or, if she has some sort of issues where he shouldn't be around children, well, then I'm happy to consider that. But usually it's just no overnight possessions. And so the boyfriend should not be with her if she's going to have overnight possession of the child. I would agree.
So the boyfriend's going to have to leave the apartments during the nights?
My client is now moving in with her brother, which is also Vanessa's, the mother of his child. So Vanessa and her brother Ryan were married, and she's going to be living he has a room for her there. Kate will be with her cousins. So she's going to move in with Ryan. I think the issue with her moving out into the apartment had to do with Aaron. And Aaron told her that she couldn't take Kate. She couldn't pick Kate up from daycare. So she was kind of stuck. That had more to do with Aaron, not Kate. So at this point, my client Ashlye will do whatever it takes to get her child back. And she's moved in now with her brother.
Does that sound like a reasonable solution to you, Mr. J?
I need to talk with my client. This is the first I've heard about that. Where does the brother live at?
He lives in Hazlitt.
Okay, so she's going to move in with her brother. Is the child going to have some kind of bedroom or something where she's
She'll have a bedroom, a bed, a toy room.
Okay. And we're going to agree that we're going to agree that both people are going to keep any adult with whom they're having an intimate relationship away from the child totally while this is going on.
We'll agree to overnights.
Overnights is all we ever have on this sort of thing.
Okay, and then I assume besides so we're going to have the sober link, and if she violates the sober link, her visitation stops. Is that correct?
Well, if I were him, I'd probably stop. Now, again, you got to have a little bit of, the sober link is not absolutely perfect. So if it says like a percentage point over or something, I'm not worried about that. I don't want him to abuse this because I've had some people who have tried to abuse it. And there's some things that can affect the sober link, just like a breathalyzer to a certain extent, but I'm talking about something of, some seriousness where it's obvious that she's been drinking.
Your Honor, do you have a proposed form of a sober link order you've used in your court before where I could look
Yeah,
at?
we've used it. The only place, and we've been looking, in fact, I was having David look to see if there's anybody else in Fort Worth or in Tarrant County that has it. It appears maybe might have to go back over to forensic over in Dallas to get it. But forensic DNA does sober link.
Okay. Would the court consider right now under her terms of probation, she's not supposed to be driving a car which doesn't have a breathalyzer in it. So
Okay.
that anytime she's going to be transporting the child and she's going to be driving, she has to be in a car that has a breathalyzer in it.
Yeah.
We've got testimony that she drives other cars and she's even driven the child around in cars that didn't have breathalyzer in it, violation of probation. My client just wants to make sure that doesn't happen while this is going on.
Well, and I'm happy to have a further injunction, and if there's credible evidence presented that she's done that, then, you know, we'll go back to supervised visitation.
Yeah, I would object to that. My client is adamantly saying no, and anything we need to do to prove that that has never happened, we will do.
I'm just saying, we'll have it.
I'm just talking about what would the court be willing to put in an injunction today that anytime she transports the child, it's got to be in a car with a breathalyzer if she's driving the child.
She's driving, absolutely.
But and she, obviously she's not supposed to
Supposed to
be.
do that anyway under her conditions of probation. Is she on probation or parole, Laura?
She's on probation.
Okay, that's
It's a
part of her
10-year
conditions.
probation.
That's part of her conditions anyway, so she has to do that. So yeah, I would absolutely enjoin her from doing that.
Okay, and then do we want to do some random drug testing for both parties?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, there's concern about drugs as well? On both?
On the petitioner's part,
And on the respondent's part, I mean, I've got witnesses are here that
I didn't finish my sentence, so
Okay,
sorry. That we have evidence to bring forth on the petitioner's part. Obviously, there were 2 probation violations on because she gets random drug tests anyway, and she was with the petitioner when those happened. So however, she hasn't had another violation in a year and a half.
But I always do drug tests. You know,
We are
I think as far as the sober link, I think mom needs to pay for that herself without question. But as far as the drug test, mom pays for his, dad pays for hers. If mom tests positive, then she reimburses dad and does random testing. If dad tests positive, he reimburses mom and has random testing. So
I would like to ask for a hair follicle and or toe or fingernail testing if possible.
Whatever choice your client's willing to pay for, I'm happy to do it. Yeah, it'll have to be either hair or nail, one or the other.
Right. And look, Judge, well, that's fine. I mean, my client is going to, got on the stand, he's going to admit today that yes, prior to my wife leaving, I smoked marijuana. She smoked marijuana. We both smoked marijuana. She's violating her probation when we're doing it, but we both smoke marijuana from time to time. And so my guess is my client well, I don't know what he's going to pass. But he says since she left, he stopped smoking. That would be his testimony today, but we can take a drug test and see what they are.
But we have all sorts of people come in and say, I'm done with it. I'm no longer doing meth. When's the last time you did it?
No,
2 days ago, but I'm done. I'm never going to do it again.
Understand. So we're going to do hair follicle and UA, or is that what we're going to do?
No UA. You don't need a UA.
Okay. So hair follicle.
Either hair or nail, whichever one your client wants to have.
We can do nail if you're not opposed to that.
Okay.
And we'll do the drug testing at Premier here in Fort Worth.
Okay. Well, I think we need to do both because my understanding of the nail will show if he did it 6 months ago. He's going to admit he did it 6 months ago. The hair follicle will show back like 30 to 60 days or
No,
something.
it goes back further than that. But if y'all want to do nail, do nail. It goes back about the same amount of time. But do nail if y'all are more comfortable with nail. I don't care.
Well, I want to do hair follicle and nail.
Well, that's too expensive. That's to me, that's just overkill.
Okay.
The nail will pick up everything, or the hair pick up everything that needs to be picked up. If you're more comfortable with nail, do nail. But that's costing them money they shouldn't have to pay, in my opinion.
Okay.
I am concerned about the drugs, but there's also we have some evidence as well about or a petitioner selling drugs. One of the witnesses today would have been bringing that testimony. In fact, she was Annie. So there are just some issues. There are a lot of issues in this case. My client has made some mistakes, but at the end of the day, she's a mother and she has lost 3 months of time with her daughter. And I would like to
let me interrupt you. I'm not, if y'all want to have a hearing on this thing, we can. And I'm just saying that you need to be careful of this thing because I've had so many of these that if I believe about half of what each other's telling me about the other, then the kid doesn't need to be with either one of them. And
Are you proposing?
I need to be careful about this.
Are you proposing mom have standard or expanded standard visitation?
I would like her to have 3 months of the same visitation that Aaron's had.
No, we're not gonna
And
do
you
that
can-
right
I'm not
now.
gonna agree to
Let's
that.
get
We'll
this
just
thing
have a
started. Let's get this thing started and then we can worry about makeup. Just get the ball on the road here,
Okay.
or the
All right.
show on the road, not the ball, the show on the road here before
Okay.
we start doing like 3 straight months of her having primary. I'm not interested in doing that right now with her history. I wouldn't do that right now, as far as giving her primary for 3 months.
Do you have a, I'm sorry, if you want to, do you have a solution to make up the time that she's lost with her daughter?
Well, if there's going to be any makeup, I think we need to get the show on the road here a little bit. How old's this child again?
3.
4.
3. I mean, the way to make it up, if we get on down where everybody trusts each other a little bit more, is maybe do an extra few days at a time later on down the road to try to make up 3 months. But the makeup to me should be the last thing on everybody's mind. We need to get her started. I think she needs to have an expanded standard. I have no problem with an expanded standard if she does the sober link. And she needs to have time with the child. He has had the child for a while, and there needs to be an injunction against drug using and selling drugs. And again, if she presents credible evidence he's out selling drugs, that does it for him too. I mean, I don't want anybody doing anything wrong on this. I want everybody to be safe and healthy, and this child to be healthy and safe herself. So that's the main thing.
Okay.
Jim, would you like a moment to confer?
Yeah. What are you going to do about support, Your Honor?
Well, I think she ought to pay some guideline support.
Okay. The problem is opposing counsel's tendered me an expense state or an income statement that shows she makes 0 money, but she's already had deposits into the bank account this year. In 2019, she had $43,000 of income, and that was just for 5 months.
So Aaron took all of the income that she had, including the stimulus check that she had to go back and get, but she was furloughed. And when we filled that out, she was not making any income at the time. But we can provide an updated, because she is now she's back at work.
Okay, well, I'd like to know what her income is currently, because the thing you sent me yesterday says she has 0 income.
That's just what we had on file.
And I have evidence she's making like $2,000 a month or something like that. So I need to know what she's making now so the court set child support. I'll go talk with my client real quick and see what he wants to do, if he wants to continue with the hearing or what he wants to do on this, okay?
Okay, and I will confer with mine.
So are y'all, both of your clients are there in your offices with you?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, okay, go, I guess, but when are you going to come back?
Can I have 5 minutes?
Okay, is that enough time for you? Both of you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, y'all take 5 minutes and we'll just leave everything on here and y'all be back in 5 minutes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I can't get a hold of anything.
No, I don't want that. I want sober link, that's the best.
Well, I can call them, because they have this monitor, I don't know if they're doing it.
Who's they?
So, I mean, so people can all of them.
restore my notes.
When do you think the last time she used?
Okay. Well, do you have a chance to talk to your clients?
I did, Your Honor.
Now, what do y'all think? Where we stand on everything?
I think we can agree, but there were two issues.
Okay.
Ashlye hasn't had a violation for alcohol since 2013.
Mhm.
She already pays for the interlock in her vehicle with a camera, and that's $65 a month. And then, so she pays she gets random drug testing as well.
Mhm.
And that's $185 a month. So the costs, she doesn't mind doing, whatever's necessary, but the costs are going to hurt. She's commission-based, and we will present evidence to the court today. We just need to get it ready. My paralegal is in the hospital. I apologize, or I'd have it to you right now. She only made $2,000 in the past. In the past 3 months. And so she's commission-based only. So we don't know when she's going to make, we don't know when she's going to receive an income. Just kind of up in the air, and things are kind of crazy with COVID. So the child support is an issue.
Okay. So the child support's an issue, and what else is an issue?
Just the SoberLink, just the cost of it, not having it there.
Well,
It's just additional costs.
Judge?
yeah, yes, sir.
I mean, the sober link is what makes this tenable to the client. We have, and opposing counsel knows this because we produced her, we have her client's own emails since she left Mr. Kim in March, saying that she's drinking and she's afraid she's about to flunk a test, and she's inviting people over for margaritas and all that kinds of good stuff. And she knows she's not supposed to be drinking at all while she's currently on probation. And so they might not have caught her yet, but I've got emails where saying, God, I've got a UA today. I'm afraid I'm going to fail it. Oh my gosh, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. And then with regard to her income, I'm looking at deposits into the Chase account. So since February, she's deposited $4,887. So from February 5th to June 16th, she deposited $4,887 into their Chase account that come from her employer, CDA Freight Logistics, LLC.
In 2020 or 2019?
That's 2020.
Well, that's only $1,000 a month though, or so. That's 4 months of $4,000 or thereabouts. So it's not much money. So
I understand.
the SoberLink is the only thing that makes it tenable to me either. Laura, I just, I think we need to have, I think it needs to be a SoberLink, and it's not fair for him to have to pay for it. And I know, I know it's expensive because you got to rent the box, and you get that money back at the end of the rental. But then there's a monthly fee, and I know that's tough.
Is your issue with that you do you not think the interlock is sufficient?
No.
Or, okay.
Particularly if, I don't think there is anyway, even if there's no evidence that she was drinking, just going what Jim says there, if there's evidence or you have text messages say that she's drinking, then that for sure doesn't. But I think the SoberLink is to me, it's the best way I know of to make sure to give some sort of relief to the person not having the child, that the child is safe, and to the court as well. And we ordered, and I think it's great.
Yeah, we have no issue or objection to it. It's just the cost.
Yeah.
She's already paying $185, quite a bit, for random drug tests, for random checkups, for the interlock in her vehicle with a camera.
What kind of random drug tests? She's just doing UAs as far as the probation department's concerned.
No, she has hair follicles as well.
for the probation department?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Your Honor,
Someone.
with what's going on with COVID, they have been testing all these people a lot less frequently. I mean, we've even got our email. So, oh, they didn't do an ETG today. They only did the UA. I passed. Thank goodness. I mean, again, that's why if we can get monthly random drug and alcohol testing or drug testing, and then we get an injunction that says nobody's going to drink or use drugs, and she's got to do the sober length. Then
Well, I'm not going to order random drug testing unless they test positive. So there's not going to be a random drug test, but they've got to take that first test.
Okay.
If they don't have to, but if each side wants the other to take a drug test, then they need to take the drug test.
Okay.
And then there won't be random testing unless they test positive. So I just don't want to do any drugs. I don't want to smoke any marijuana. I don't want to do drugs. I don't want her to be drinking.
I mean, Judge, my client's good with the JMC as long as he has the right to establish the primary residence. He understands what the expanded standard visitation schedule. I've told him about that. What he proposes is that on the days that each of the parents doesn't have the child, they have the right to FaceTime communicate with the child for, at 6 o'clock every day for 5 or 10 minutes or something like that.
We were asked for that as well.
And so, and then mutual injunctions, nobody has an unrelated adult over from like 7 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next morning. Injunctions.
Usually 9 p.m., I think, to
Yeah,
8 a.m.
until 8 a.m.
Okay, 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. Injunction.
Related person of the opposite sex.
Mutual injunctions, no drugs, no drinking. And the drinking, I guess, would be 12 hours before and while in possession of the child.
Right.
Sober link, mom pays, whatever the court determines as we can start child support just based. If she wants to say all I'm making is $1,000 a month, then we base child support on that today. And if we find information contrary to that prior to July 8th or later on, we can always go modify that.
Yeah.
I'd even, what does he do? What does he do for a living, Jim?
He's a machinist.
What's his income?
About $45,000 a year.
Okay.
I mean, his income and expense statement, Judge, shows that while they were living together, they lived at the edge of their budget. Right now, he has income of about, hold on one second, I don't want to lie to you. He has his income of $29.65. His expenses every month right now are running $49.32. Since his wife has left, he has borrowed $7,000 from his mother, and that's what he continues to do on a monthly basis because he's having to pay for daycare and that kinds of good stuff. Now, since she's going to have some of this visitation, he might not need quite as much daycare, but since most of her time is on the weekends, he's still going to have daycare. The other thing that he's paying is he's been paying, because it's in his name, her car payment, her car insurance, that kinds of good stuff, because it's currently in his name.
I have proof that she gave petitioner $25,000 as well last year. So she.
While they were married?
Yeah.
So she contributed $25,000 to the community.
So
For the
on top of contributing to the bill, she had $25,000 there that the petitioner used on his own.
Well, I've got evidence she contributed $43,000 last year. I mean, that was her income last year in 2019 was $43,000. So
Well,
actually made more than that last year.
I think I'd be willing, and I think he can maybe make it another month. Let her start the child support maybe August the 1st. Do minimum wage child support.
Minimum wage child support starting August 1st.
Yeah. It gives her a chance to at least get some of these other expenses out of the way.
I assume pursuant to this, he's going to, at least for the current, being awarded temporary use and possession of the marital residence. Is that correct? Oh, and we want to make sure that she's going to be living with, what's the gentleman's name? Ryan Blevins.
And she'll be ordered to live with Ryan then. And, she'll keep the smart start thing on her car, which she has to anyway. She'll do the sober link. Do they really want to spend the money on this drug test? This is just extra money.
No. I don't.
If you're willing to we both know that, well, I already have a follicle and I could produce that. And we both know that petitioner is going to fail the toenail test. So that's up to you.
Let's just put an injunction in place for drugs then and don't do the testing right now.
Okay.
If either side believes the other party's continuing to abuse drugs or gets evidence of that, we can come back to the court and ask them to be drug tested.
We have another hearing, so we can present it at that time.
Yeah, y'all ask. If y'all ever ask, I'll certainly order it.
Okay.
So here's what if this is the case, then what you're agreeing to is that they'll be named as joint managing conservators of the child. Now, the way I do that is that dad in this instance would have the exclusive right, excuse me, to consent to medical, dental, and surgical treatment involving surgical intervention, the exclusive right to consent to psychiatric and psychological treatment, the exclusive right to make educational decisions, and the exclusive right to make, the exclusive right to make significant legal decisions. Probably won't apply in this case. All after meaningful consultation with mom or reasonable efforts to do so, then all the other rights will be independent to each party after reasonable consultation, consultation or reasonable efforts to do so. Then child support would be $225 a month beginning on August 1st of 2020. Is there insurance? Does the child insured?
My client will be ordered to maintain the health insurance for the child. Each party pay half of what's not covered by insurance. Regular order for that.
Yep, 50-50 on the uninsured. Dad will maintain insurance. Mom will have visitation at all times. The parties may agree. Absent agreement, she'll have an expanded standard visitation schedule. Before the visitation starts, she'll sign up for the SoberLink and get the SoberLink device. And until then, she can have some sort of supervisor. We can talk about that, but she should have visitation. If it takes a week or two to get the SoberLink in, she should have whatever visitation that she's going to have as long as it's supervised. And then Dad will have a temporary use of the house, his car. She'll have temporary use of her car. I don't know if she has any items in the house that she wants. Lauren, do you know if she does?
Yes, she does.
What items does she want out of the house on a temporary basis?
My clothes.
Some of her clothes and personal items.
Okay.
Clothes and personal items are not a problem.
Okay, I'm going to assume the parties can agree on getting her personal items out and when she can come get them. I'm assuming they also can agree. I guess she's going to pick up the child for the start of the visitation. Is that right? And return the child at the end of the visitation.
We can do that.
Yeah.
So what else do y'all think we need to?
The only other thing we talked about is that anytime mom transports the child, if mom's driving, it has to be in a car that has a smart
You need to have an injunction that mom will not drive the car, transport the child without being in a car that has a smart start. There'll be no mom will not drink during visitation with the child or within 12 hours before.
We'd like reasonable periods of electronic communication. I think Jim already stated that.
Yeah.
Does
the 6 o'clock work for your clients every night? She doesn't have the child to 6 p.m. work for her?
We were doing 6:30.
6:30 is what they were doing previously. Can we just implement the same?
Yeah, 6:30 is fine.
Okay.
If y'all are happy with that, that's fine. What else can y'all think of we need to talk about?
So the joint tax return is an issue because I think they're about to meet their deadline. So that does need to be addressed today if possible.
My client's proposal is he filed married filing separately and report all her income and she report his. He's recently found out, he found out last year that she owes the government $100,000 approximately for student loans. And last year they took their refund as a result of that.
Okay. I think he got it back.
Yeah.
Yes. He filed some kind of innocent spouse refiling deal and was able to get it eventually, but we just don't want to have that problem again. So we propose each of them file married filing separately for 2019 and report their own income.
I'm happy if they agree on it. I'm not getting into IRS issues, because IRS does not care at all what I order or what y'all decide. You know, the IRS is gonna do what they're gonna do. So I would suggest y'all do it the best way for y'all. And that sounds like to me, the best way to do would be to file it, married filing separately. But if that's not, they need to talk to an accountant to try to figure that out. I assume they can cooperate.
Yeah, again, if we're going to get a better refund, if they file jointly, as long as she can furnish proof that she's paid off all her student loans. Has she paid off all her student loans?
No, she has not yet.
All right. So that's what my client proposes to, or that's what my client plans to do. He's already talked to an accountant. He's going to file married filing separately, report his income.
Well, the IRS has a way of working things out if the attorneys, if the parties don't file the tax returns as they should. So I'll leave it up to them, not me.
Okay. So then I'm not going to put any order in the order about that. I'm telling opposing counsel that's what my client wants to do. If she has some other kind of proposal or something from a CPA and she wants to talk with me about it, I'm willing to do it. Although we need to do it because the return's due on July 15th, I believe.
Yeah. My issue is who claims Kate. So if he wants to do that, if he can give her 50%, he already took the stimulus check.
Well, she can't get her stimulus check back. He took the $500 he got for the child because he's paying for all the food and he's providing a home for the child and all that kinds of good stuff.
So,
so I'll just let you know, he's going to claim the dependency exemption for the child too, because she's been in the home with him the whole time. So
again, I'm not going to make orders one way or the other about all that. I would think that it probably should be his to claim her as the dependent, but that is not my call.
yeah.
I would like to incorporate a provision in there that he continue to pay the vehicle and the other bills that he was paying as temporary family support.
I would like to payment of ongoing bills at our July 8th hearing.
Okay.
Well, what other bills, what other hearing, before we have another hearing, what else are we going to talk about on June the 8th or July the 8th?
By then, I need to have some evidence of her income, what's going on with her income, because we may readdress the child support at that point in time since you sent them at minimum wage. And then my client needs to do something. He doesn't have the money right now to keep paying for her car and her insurance and that kinds of good stuff. Especially if all she's going to pay is $200 a month in child support.
Yeah. How much is her car payment?
$237. And what's her?
How much is the insurance for her car?
I've got it on my expense statement, Judge. I know you haven't seen it yet. Hold on, let me get to it.
I've got all your exhibits here, but I will confess I've not gone through them.
So he pays $237 for her car. He pays $100, $99.16 a month for her vehicle insurance. And then the portion of her health insurance that are attributable to him is $310. So right now he's got about $650 a month that he's paying just for stuff with her. And remember, his income is only $2,900. $646 is what it comes to. He's paying for her currently.
It seems. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Lauren. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say then. I mean, my client is in a predicament here as well. She makes significantly less than that. So he would, if he didn't pay her vehicle, he would be essentially leaving her without a mode of transportation at this point. She still has to live, and now she's going to be required to pay additional costs on top of the cost that she already pays for her interlock and child support. So I mean, and she's commission based. We don't even know if she's going to make any income next month.
Is she looking for another job?
Yes.
Sounds to me like she needs one.
But it's just difficult right now because
I know times are hard now, but I do think there's a problem if and the health insurance, I'm not worried about. I think that's probably his responsibility to pay for that. So okay. I'm not worried about that. But if he's paying out $237 a month for her car and then another $100 for the insurance, that's $337 or $36 a month that he's paying out. And it just doesn't make sense to me that he should have to keep doing that. You know, and with her only paying him $225 a month for child support, and he's having to pay daycare. How much is the daycare per month, Jim?
Daycare per month, Your Honor, is $950 a month.
We could absolutely have Ashlye watch her instead of having Kate at daycare.
Doesn't actually have to work?
Well, yeah, Ashlye needs to work. I mean, in the past, she was making $5,000 and $7,000 a month, and she's in the trucking industry. The trucking industry is going crazy right now. There's goods being shipped all over the place.
She's not, I mean, as you can see, and you have documentation as well, she's not making that much right now.
Well, I know, but she needs to get her a job. And I think to say she could watch the child would defeat the whole purpose. Sure, it'd save him $950, but she needs a job.
What she's doing is she's working from home right now. So she's at home.
I know, but you can't work. Maybe that's the reason you can't take care of a 3-year-old. You can't take care of a 3-year-old and work full time. It's just, you can't make any money doing that. I don't even know what I don't know what she does, but that's not going to work. If she's,
And again, Your Honor, that's kind of the deal. She works for CDE Trucking. She's been working from home for years. That's part of the reason they chose to put the child in daycare back in July, so it'd be easier for her to work from home, because that was more economic benefit to the family.
I don't believe that we don't agree with that, obviously. She was put in daycare because Aaron fired the nanny after some issues with marijuana, drug issues, and so that she could socialize with other children her age.
right, but you can't take care of a 3-year-old and work full time.
Yeah, I was just proposing, I mean, Ashlye will do whatever it takes to get more time with Kate. She's lost a lot of time with her, but I don't want to put her in a deeper hole than she's already in. She's trying, you know what I mean? I don't think that she should be persecuted for past mistakes. She's doing everything that she can.
I'm not trying to persecute her at all. I'm trying to protect the child, and I'm trying to. And again, if Dad was making $10,000 a month in this situation, yeah, I can see how he could shoulder the load longer. But he's not. If he's making $2,900 a month, he's paying $950 a month out for daycare. He's paying another $600 some odd dollars out, basically for mom. You know, you're getting down to where there's not much money left over.
Yeah, I believe he's paying $1,540 for the home right now as well.
$1,405.
$1,400.
He needs to, he can't afford that house. He needs to sell the house.
The problem is, Judge, he can't go rent a 2-bedroom house that's in a decent neighborhood for much less than $1,400.
I understand, but he can't afford $1,400 either on a $2,900 income. Even if mom gets a job making what she's making before and is paying child support, that would be commensurate with that income. So anyway, that's something not for today, but it does strike me that she ought to be helping out more than just $225 towards all the money he's paying out.
My guess would be is that she's living with her brother for free. So
how much is she paying to rent that room or what it is with her brother?
How much I'm paying Ryan, I don't know yet. We haven't worked out. Probably about $750 a month for my half of the mortgage.
About $750 a month for her half.
She's paying $750 to him a month?
$750 a month is what she's going to be paying, plus buying groceries, food, all that good stuff. So
she's only making about $1,000 a month. So how's she going to do that?
Well, she still hasn't moved in there just yet. We wanted to see how today went. So
how much is she paying for her apartment where she lives now?
$1,540.
And that's
Has she been paying? Has the boyfriend been paying that?
50%. And her mother has been helping out, and her father's been helping out right now. She's having to borrow money at this point.
Well, this is a classic example of these people, like Jim said, these people were living on the edge when they were living together and making money, and now neither of them can afford to live by themselves with these bills. They just can't. They just can't. And they're spending a lot of money on attorney's fees too.
I mean,
And they sure can't afford to come back for another hearing in July. So I see no use in doing that. What I would do is I would order that she pay $225 in July, and then starting, say, August, then she needs to get her another job, but she needs to at least pay enough to pay for the car and the insurance. So that'd be $335 a month.
But she's supposed to pay that to him or pay the bills directly?
Well, I'd say it's in his name. Probably ought to pay it to him, make sure he gets paid.
Well, if we're gonna do that, it's in his name technically. And if we wanna get a deal where it gets sold and she can get a cheaper vehicle at this point, that's what she's gonna have to do, so.
We would be great with that. If she can either go refinance the car in her name and get the insurance off him, she can go do that.
Yeah, go do it.
That would be fine with us.
That-
We're trying
That's
to-
you're gonna find a car less than $237 a month that'd be safe to drive.
I think if we can find, we're just trying to get her back on her feet. So if mom and dad can help, maybe get like a reliable cash car.
Great.
And she's got a smart link in
If
it.
she can refinance that car or they can sell it, that's great. As long as it gets out of his name, where he doesn't have the responsibility for the car or the insurance, that's great.
So I want to
That'd
understand
be an alternative.
that she pays $235 to dad, like by July 15th to help pay these bills. She pays $335.
225.
No. She pays $225 a month, beginning on July the 1st. Beginning on August, she pays $335 a month unless the car is sold or she is refinanced and put into her name, got the insurance out of his name, where she's responsible for those bills. At that time, if she hasn't done that, then her support would be $335 a month. If she has done that, then she can keep paying the $225. And then I would also order that she provide, say, quarterly statements to dad as to her income. So if she gets another job or this current job starts paying back to where she was before, then he at least knows where he can come back in and try to get child support that'd be appropriate for her income.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, Judge. I thought you were awarding this as additional support over and above child.
I'm not ordering additionally. She can't afford to do it.
I got you. I understand. I want to make sure I got it right. I understand. So these are the new child support amounts. Okay. And so if she sells the car and gets out of the 335, does the child support then go back down to 225?
It'd be 225. It'll remain at 225 if the car's sold.
Okay.
Or she refinances it and it's in her name. And the insurance is out of his name as well.
Then to provide,
And health insurance, you said 100% to him.
Yeah, he pays the health insurance, 50-50 on the uninsured.
and she's supposed to provide proof of income to us on a monthly basis.
Not a monthly, but I said quarterly.
Quarterly? Okay.
These folks need to, I think, sit down with y'all and try to work this out. They can't afford y'all. They can't afford this fight. They need to try to work something out to where they can both survive and raise their child.
Lauren, if your client can just supplement her, get me the rest of the discovery stuff that I need, well, I'm ready to go to mediation in this case, probably in a month or so.
Okay. I think we're on board with that as well. We'll probably need to confer after this. Jim, you're okay with that?
All right. Okay. All right. So we're going to prepare, I guess this is really an agreed order since we're reaching an agreement to this, an agreed order, an agreed set of temporary orders, memorializing this stuff. And Judge, if we have any disagreements about it, hopefully Ms. Boyce and I have worked together pretty good. We'll be able to work. Hopefully we can work them out. If we can't, we'll may call you and get a short telephone conference.
Yeah, we can do a telephone conference, but this should take care of any hearing you have on July the 8th, don't you think?
I think so. Do you agree, Ms. Boyson?
I agree.
So we're gonna
I
pass
agree.
the hearing now.
Our biggest thing here was custody, the custody issues, not so much the assets. So.
Okay. Well, and y'all work out, let the clients work out a time to let her go get her stuff too. And if she needs some other little stuff, hopefully they can agree on all that.
Does she want to come get her stuff this weekend?
I want my child this weekend.
Do you want to get your stuff this weekend?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's talk with them about visitation this weekend. I know the court said we're supposed to work out some supervised visitation. I guess we're gonna have it supervised by Ryan. Ryan's gonna be with her at all times during the visitation while this is going on until she gets on the sober link.
Yeah. We can do that. expanded standard
Court's already said expanded standard. Again, we're gonna, but that's after SoberLink. We're gonna try and get her some, kind of like what we did where she does a weekend, although, did she have the child last weekend? I'll talk with my client about this weekend. If y'all can, after we get over here, call SoberLink and find out how quick she can get on SoberLink, we can work out maybe some kind of agreed possession schedule between now and then.
Okay. If you want to incorporate the same one that we had, I mean, if she can have a full weekend, and then, I mean, we could probably get this SoberLink hopefully by the end of, or next week.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll help facilitate that.
She had the child last weekend. I need to talk to my child because he may already have some plans with the child this weekend.
Okay.
And
I mean, I think that if Ashley had Kate this weekend, that would help make up for the lost time.
Well, y'all work that out. If there's a way that y'all can work it out, that's great. This is Father's Day weekend, though. This is his weekend.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, no.
my daughter's leaving for camp that morning, like at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to have very early Father's Day this year.
He gets the weekend. He gets this weekend.
Okay. But if you find out that she can get started with SoberLink by next weekend, you know, we can work that out. We can figure out something. Okay. I promise you.
Okay.
We work together. I won't promise.
Yeah.
And call Forensic DNA and they're in Dallas now. They're the only ones I know. I assume they still do it. I've not dealt with them much since they left Fort Worth, and I hate to send business out of Tarrant County.
I thought we agreed we weren't going to do drug
Yeah,
tests.
I think we're agreeing to no drug tests at this time, unless.
The SoberLink, Forensic is doing the SoberLink.
Oh,
Oh. All right.
okay.
They're the only ones I know of that is doing it.
Yeah, and
My bail's been trying to call other people to see if we can find anybody else that does it. So far, we've not. If I hear of anybody or find out anybody, I'll call you and let you know there's another vendor out there.
And Lauren, my recollection, because I've done this with one other client, is you're going to have information from us and my client so that they can set him up, and he's going to have to sign stuff to get the results emailed to him and and my office, that kinds of good stuff. So,
Okay. Perfect.
all right.
We will. Well, I think we're gonna speak after this. Give me about 30 minutes. You want to have a phone conference at 11?
Yeah, we'll have a phone conference at 11.
Perfect.
Judge,
All right, anything else we need to talk about?
hope you can start enjoying your vacation now. I know you're supposed to be on vacation today. I appreciate you helping us work this
No,
out.
I was going to be here today. I was just out yesterday. So
Okay.
we're just doing a lot of work around the house, and so all it does is my money, what little bit I have, just goes out the door usually.
Hear that?
Nice when it's done, supposedly.
My wife has been working from home for the last 5 years, and she's ready for me to get out of her office. My divorce is going to be very expensive. She's looking at
Now,
Airstream.
my wife's been working at home since the virus, and so she's kind of liking that home. Hopefully she can work it out where she can stay. That's good.
My wife and her dogs are ready for me to leave. I think she's going to buy an Airstream and put it in the park and put it in the driveway for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's good talking to y'all. We'll see you later.
Good to talk to you.
Thanks.
too.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh, we have anything else?
No, I think Ashley was looking at the SoberLink and she was finding schedules, but Jim and I can discuss that at our conference.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.